Beautiful Anonymous is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
If you've been in business for at least 6 months and have a decent credit score, you could get business funding in as little as 24 hours. But you don't have to spend a ton of time going from lender to lender to find the best match for your small business. Drive your business forward with Lendio. Just let Lendio do it for you. At Lendio, we've built a marketplace of over 75 lenders and funding partners who know what you need and can get it to you quickly. See what your business can qualify for in just a few minutes at Lendio.com. That's Lendio, Lendio.com.
Looking for a fantasy that will keep you up all night? From Blood and Ash isn't just a story, it's the beginning of an obsession. From Blood and Ash launches you into a world where forbidden desire collides with deadly secrets, and every choice could ignite a war. Expect heart-pounding romance, fierce battles, and a heroine who refuses to be caged. If you crave danger, passion, and twists you'll never see coming, start the journey today. Grab From Blood and Ash, available in print, ebook, and audiobook, and enter a series you'll never want to leave.
Hello to everybody who lives for clown drama. It's Beautiful Anonymous. 1 hour, one phone call, no names, no holds barred.
I'd rather go one-on-one. I think it'll be more fun, and I'll get to know you, and you'll get to know me.
Hi everybody, Chris Gethard here. I know not everyone's into the intros. I will say the info on how to submit for issue 2 of Beautiful Anonymous, the magazine, is in this week's intro. So if that interests you, you will want to check it out. If not, I forgot to time it, but skip about, I would say, 8 to 9 minutes. That'll put you right towards the beginning of the call. Sorry, I usually try to time them specifically, but that should get you right where you want to go. Okay, thanks. Hi everybody, Chris Gethard here, welcoming you to another episode of Beautiful Anonymous, which, as I've been fond of saying lately, is a show where what we do is we look at the human condition one anonymous conversation at a time. And we've been doing it for years. We're coming up on 10 years. I'm very psyched to tell you that we're going to be announcing some touring dates soon. We rarely go on tour anymore, but if you are in the Rust Belt of America, if you're out there out in the Midwest, on through the Rust Belt, we got some news coming for you guys about some shows coming up in a few months. And Andrea and I have talked, it's the 10-year anniversary of the show, and I'm way more of a homebody than I've ever been, but we're really committing to this idea of 10 cities for 10 years. I want to go out to 10 different cities where I've done shows in the past, where the people have been supportive, and do some live Beautiful Anonymous tapings. Some news on that will be coming soon. Keep your eye on these intros, as well as punchup.live/Chris Gethard. That's where you'll be able to buy the tickets for all of said shows. If the audio quality on this episode is a little different, I will let you guys know that I'm recording it in a hotel room in Burlington, Vermont. I'm about to do some shows at the Vermont Comedy Club, which is an incredible club. I've been plugging it. If you're hearing this and you're like, wait, I live in Vermont, I wish I had known. I've been trying to spread word. I'm doing my best. I had a really hilarious experience where, long story short, I drove last night. I didn't want to drive for like 5 or 6 hours and then do 2 shows. I'm too old for that. I would not be able to handle that physically, stamina-wise. So I drove up last night, and I stayed in a family member's home, and they were not there, and it was in a mountain town that was completely desolate, and I was triple checking every lock on every door, and then I had to de-winterize the house, and then barely slept because I was so scared, and then had to re-winterize a house, and then I drove a couple hours today to get up to Vermont, and I took a ferry across Lake Champlain, and I will tell you, I've been all in. I'm a white guy who's 45 years old, which means that I get very excited about Ken Burns documentaries. This one on the American Revolution has been really working for me. There's so much Jersey stuff in the Revolution. The area I live in now has all sorts of revolutionary history and sites where it's a known fact that players and troops were passing through from the Revolution. So I'm getting really nerdy about it, and I had just within the past week watched the episodes about Lake Champlain and how important the control of it was, and the Ticonderoga Fort and Benedict Arnold and Ethan Allen. So got to take a ferry across Lake Champlain, and now here I am in this weird hotel room. And if that's why the sound quality seems a little different, that's why. That's what that's all about. Thank you so much to everybody who's been sending in items for the magazine. We have not been pushing it too hard, but we are doing a second issue of the magazine. I'm really proud of the first one. I think it's a cool conceptualization of what Beautiful Anonymous is in a printed form. I'm really a big believer in print media. I like things that are tactile, that you can hold in your hands. For as much as I complain about it, I like going to the post office. I like filling out envelopes. I like being able to put your names and addresses on an envelope and to remember that there are actual humans out here connecting with this podcast, and that when I send you a t-shirt, I hope you enjoy the t-shirt, and it's nice to be able to have merch and, you know, ideally not lose money on it. But what's more important is to remember that there is this whole network of us that is thousands strong, and we use the phones and the mail to connect with each other. And those seem outdated, but I like manipulating those old systems to find and foster human connections. I don't know why I yelled the word foster, but I really like it. And items have been coming in. If you want to send in an item to be included in the Beautiful Anonymous magazine, it's basically following the same rules as the show. Keep it anonymous. It can be artwork. It can be writing. It can be old postcards. It can be found items. I can tell you I haven't been opening anything that's been coming in yet, but there's been some very funny boxes. I just got a box from Australia, and because it was from Australia, the customs forms on the outside listed a bunch of the items in there, and one of them I was like, I can't imagine why this is being sent to me in the mail from Australia. Items have come in so far from the Netherlands, Australia, all over America. It's building nicely. I can't wait to start unboxing this stuff and building out this second issue of the magazine. If you want to send something in, send it to Chris Gethard, P.O. Box 972, New Vernon, New Jersey, 07976. And that's a post office, obviously not too far from where I live in a very desolate stretch of Jersey, so I drive over to the post office every now and then, and it's always exciting to open up that P.O. box and get things in there. So whether you have art, whether you have writings, whether you have found objects, last issue included recipes and unexplained photos and cartoons and comics and illustrations, and it was so cool to see the talent of this community, the mischievousness of this community. It's awesome. So again, Chris Gethard at P.O. Box 972, New Vernon, New Jersey, 07976. We are collecting items actively for issue 2 of Beautiful Anonymous, the magazine. Okay. This week's episode, good vibes. Just a caller with really good vibes. Andrea said to me pretty quickly, like, put a note, like, I honestly just love this guy's vibes, and I think you will all agree right out of the gate. I don't even really know how to describe this one. It's very chit-chatty by the standards of the show. I'll tell you that if you are signed up for the extra stuff at beautifulanonymous.com, it does get a little more heartfelt back there. We talk about loneliness behind the paywall. And I know that the phrase, the loneliness epidemic, has become a little bit buzzy. It's been thrown around a lot, but it's real. And he and I both express the frequency with which we feel loneliness, and it gets real fast. And I was very impressed and glad that he let his guard down in the way he did to speak on it, because it's not always easy. A lot of what we talk about is his fiance, who works a very specific profession. You will hear how the choices of the federal government in America are starting to affect people's everyday lives in a way that blindsided me, that I never saw coming. And then in a way that harkens back, I would say right back to episode 1 of this show. Talk about wanting to take big swings, having dreams, having ambitions, being close, being far, how to not give up, why to not give up. I think you're going to like it. It's a fun episode that has these moments that all of a sudden feel like your eyes are going to go wide. And you're going to remember that when you have human conversations, things will hit you in the gut. And I'm telling you one thing. If you ever want to just appreciate America at its most beautiful in the most small town way, drive through upstate New York, go to the Essex Ferry Terminal that crosses Lake Champlain, and walk around that little town before the boat gets there. And just remember, it's just the type of place that I feel like you could, anybody who comes over from Europe and thinks America is just strip malls and just box stores. Every once in a while you get out there and you look around, you go, oh, right, there's something really intoxicating about this country, and sometimes it's just little tiny towns that look like this. That's just a little tip for you. Anyway, enjoy the call.
Thank you for calling Beautiful Anonymous. A beeping noise will indicate when you are on the show with the host.
Hello?
Hi.
I'm sorry, Chris. I had a mouthful of turkey sandwich.
Oh, that's okay. That happens.
Yeah. Did Andrea give you an idea of what this call is going to be like today?
Nope. Andrea just said, I like this guy, and then we're on the phone.
Okay. I will say it might get a little bit crazy, but I'll try to make it fun. I'm calling from work today on my lunch break.
Okay.
I I work as a security guard at a kind of highfalutin movie studio.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I've seen some famous people occasionally from time to time, but a lot of the time it's just me just stuck in a box.
So are you in the Los Angeles area or the Vancouver area? Because those are the two places that I think that goes down.
Oh, I'm in the Los Angeles area.
In the Los Angeles area. That's fun.
Yeah. I've been out here for about 6 years now. Before that, I lived in Chicago. But I don't know. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm very nervous, and I'm also trying to eat at the same time.
You're a hard-working dude. Eat your sandwich.
Well, I appreciate that. I saw you revived Sandwich Night recently, which I thought was pretty great.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, for people who don't know, Sandwich Night is a holiday I accidentally invented on public access television, and we've done it every year. We've done it every year for 14 years, I think. And it's pretty stupid, and I'm glad you like it.
Thanks. Well, I'm going to say something right now that's probably going to break your heart. So I was listening to your episode with the person who was big into the public broadcast stuff.
Yeah.
Who had been like a fan of the show, but just other stuff on the Manhattan Network. And I found out about you the way that a lot of people did when you were on This American Life, when they rebroadcast the first episode, which I think Ron Paul's baby was a security guard too, wasn't he?
I believe that's true, yeah. I mean, it's been 9 years, but I think that's true.
But anyway, so I didn't actually get a chance to watch the Chris Gethard show while it was still on air. But I had heard good things about One Man's Trash and enjoyed that episode immensely. And then it turned out that HBO Max, at least at one point, I don't know if they still do, had the whole run of the True TV series. And I loved it. And I probably would have watched it if I had known it was going to be as good as it was.
I'm glad you found it at all, and I'm glad you liked it, and I'm glad you found it on HBO Max, even though, fun fact, I never got paid a dime for anybody watching it on HBO Max. Isn't that crazy? They can do that?
Yeah, that figures.
Yeah,
I think the same thing happened with Chappelle. Like, he kind of just had, when Netflix started running episodes of his old show, he had been to basically publicly embarrass them to give him money. That's a guy who probably doesn't need the money, but he still managed to pull that off.
I thought it was, I tell you, it's one of the only things I've publicly agreed with Dave Chappelle on in many years. And I felt like he was clearly fighting the fight for the smaller artists like myself. Like, he doesn't ultimately need it, but I think him shaming them for that helped make it easier for some of us. But yeah, I'm one of those people that my work got put up there, and you don't get paid for that. And that was a wild revelation to figure out, but that's okay. I'm not complaining. I've had a lucky life. How's your sandwich?
It was good. It's actually leftovers from Disneyland. My fiance and I went yesterday, and in the rain. It was actually one of those rare occasions where it was raining in Southern California, and we decided to go anyway because it was one of my only days off. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we had a good time, but like she ate half of off of the sandwich, and it's one of those classic like Thanksgiving type sandwiches where it's like the turkey and it's the cranberry and it's the
stuffing,
and then there was like a side of like gravy in which to dip it in, which was it's pretty damn good, Chris. I gotta say. I mean, I'm not usually I'm a big sandwich fan. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not usually a big like Thanksgiving bunch of crap on 2 pieces of bread kind of a guy. But in the spot right now, I gotta say.
You throw cranberry sauce on anything, and it's going to get a little bit better for it.
Although I would say, like, I'm more of you ever had a cranberry aioli? That's where it's at, man.
No,
I gotta say.
No, that's a Southern California question you just asked me. Have I ever had cranberry aioli?
Well, I mean, it's just just a fancy aioli is just a fancy word for mayonnaise, so just like cran mayonnaise, I guess. Mm-hmm. Crannaise?
Crannaise.
That's the word, maybe.
I think you just invented a portmanteau.
Yeah, I'm digging that. Yeah, I mean, so we spent the whole time out in the rain, and actually it was crazy because we knew it was going to rain. We bought ponchos ahead of time and covers for our shoes. She wore rain boots actually, and then we had umbrellas out, and we decided, hey, we're already like good to go here, so why don't we just go on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is the one super, super wet ride, which used to be called Splash Mountain. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And just assuming like, we're going to be fine, everything's going to be okay. And we went down the first tiny hill, and I suddenly had a lap full of water and had basically lowest underpants for the entire 5 or 6 hours that we stayed after that.
Yeah, that's rough. Still, though, Disney, pretty magical. Did you have fun overall?
Yeah, overall. I mean, it would have been nice if it wasn't raining, but the place looks pretty in the rain. Once the lights and stuff go on, once it gets past a certain hour, and it was all decked out for like Christmas and stuff. But my fiance is really big into Disney, like just going to the park as a thing. So we have passes, so we can kind of just go whenever we want to within reason. Usually it's just like once a month. And yeah, it just happened to be this was the week we were going to do it. And most of the time we don't even really ride that much stuff. We kind of just hang out for the vibes because it's not that far away, and she just enjoys. It's one of her happy places. She's she's an interesting person. We met about 3 years ago and got engaged back at the end of July.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She works as a professional birthday clown, but she's also on. Yes, I know.
She's
also
that.
on partial disability.
Okay.
So she got some time. So she got some time on her hands. So one of the things that she likes to do is do that. But she also was a giant pothead. So we went and got her a bunch of edibles because even though she loves going to Disney so much, she's not the best with like giant crowds. So in theory, like a rainy day would actually be nice for her because it's a little bit cleared out. But the anxiety of just being around people for like an extended period of time, like just as herself and not with, I guess, her clown armor on, can be a bit much. But yeah.
Everything you just described is really delightful.
Well, we try to have a good time. We try to deal with whimsy as much as we can. I mean, the world's the world right now, so we're just making the best of it. She works that job, and like I said, is on partial disability, so that's kind of how she pays the bills. Unfortunately, a lot of her gigs are going away, partly because of what's going on within the government.
Wait, walk me through this. So first of all, I'm sorry she's on disability. I hope she's okay or heading in that direction.
Yeah.
And how does the federal government affect the frequency of gigs for a professional birthday clown?
Okay, so part of this is based off of the area that we live in. A lot of her gigs, or traditionally a lot of her gigs, are with Mexican families or people from Latin America. They really, really love clowns, and having them party is something that they like prioritize having.
I got a story for you when you finish explaining this, but do not let me forget.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll get to it. So unfortunately, because of all the ICE raids and stuff that have been happening, like maybe mom and dad are here legally, but maybe some of the extended family isn't, and they're concerned about getting the whole family together, and then and then ICE just raiding it and just taking half of the family away. So a lot of those gigs have dried up. So where she might be working like 3 or 4 gigs on a weekend, she might now just be working 1.
That's the type of thing that, first of all, is wild. I never would have thought about that or known about that. And I am certain I'm not the only person listening to go. I sit here and go, and I've been informed, by the way, recently that I use that phrase too much. Someone in person came up to me at the 500th episode taping and said, "Do you know how often you use the phrase, I sit here and go?" And I said, I didn't even know I ever use it. And now I can't stop hearing myself say it. That being said, I don't care how much you sit here and go, well, I vote conservative and I want a strong border. Did you really want it to be that people are scared to throw birthday parties for their kids? Is that a level of strength that somehow makes your life easier or America a stronger country? It's the type of thing that is getting so many of us so angry right now. Of you can do a lot of lip service and go, okay, if a drug trafficker is using a porous border to traffic drugs, great. And those are the examples held up to us. Well, fentanyl sneaks over the border. You go, what about all the kids whose families are scared to throw them birthday parties because there's weird masked villains on our streets? Is that really something you want? Is that a kid can't have a birthday party up to the quality they're used to on any given year? It's exasperating, heartbreaking nonsense. And I can't believe that when I asked that question, like, how's the federal government affecting birthday clown gigs, that it basically comes down to your fiance's demographic is scared to publicly have parties right now. That sucks.
Yeah,
that just sucks.
It really does. And it was very unforeseen. So partly I'm just trying to pull extra hours to help, kind of make up for some of the loss of income. But I feel bad for her because she's kind of a homebody anyway. And I can tell that she's not getting to go out as much as she probably needs to for like her mental health hasn't completely deteriorated. I'm not saying that, but I gotta work to help support us too. And the days where she can't work and I'm just gone the whole day, she really feels that loneliness, and it just really bums me out.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. People sit here and they say, I support a strong border to keep criminals from sneaking into America. But what about the sad isolated birthday clowns of this country? What about them? This is a thing we've all learned together today.
I know. I mean, there's drama amongst the birthday clowns as well.
How so?
She's a contract clown. She works for a company that is like all female clowns. And because gigs have gotten tight, there's been unfortunately because of the type of work that it is, there is a lot of turnover with people. They get trained on how to do all the clown stuff, and then they decide they don't really want to do it. They don't, or it's not working enough hours, so they just let it go. She's been doing this for 10 or 15 years at this point, so she's all in. She's going to be doing this for as long as she can, and then if she's ever going to not do it, she might go into early childhood development or something like that. But there's been a new clown. I think her clown name is who. Well, here's what I'll say about my clown. I'll call her. That's her clown name.
I can't believe
it's a beloved clown.
I also I can't. I mean, this is an anonymity centered podcast, so I can't believe I have to ask this. Should we bleep the names of these clowns? I feel like it's probably fine. You know what? I don't think anyone of those clowns listen to it, and I'm not going to say nothing about it. But I don't feel like anything. I'm not going to say anything bad. So I think we're okay. Actually, you speak. You know what?
I reserve the right to change my mind.
I would say this. You speak totally freely, and then we'll circle up at the end and discuss. But just speak freely for now, and then we'll figure out if we should be bleeping these clown names. But I don't want to put you in your head about that.
Okay, cool. So, my fiance is a big personality. She's also, I mean, I'll give you a little bit of background. She's bipolar. Part of the reason why she's on disability is because of the nature of her bipolar and her ADHD and her social anxiety. When she tried to work more traditional, 40-hour-a-week jobs, one of two things would happen. She would forget to eat. She'd be so focused on work that she would just become all emaciated, or she would get herself into a spot where she couldn't get out of bed. So it's even in this government, it is or in past governments, it's always hard to prove hi, I'm disabled to the point where I actually need to have government assistance with financial aid. Somebody has to really be not kosher there for the government to actually you know what, we agree, and we're going to toss you $1,100 a month to help you, so you don't have to work as much as you do. But so she mostly just works the weekends. But as I was saying earlier, excuse me, a lot of the work is going away. So there were, back when there was more work to be had, she was always the first person that her boss would go to and be like, hey, there's this gig during the week. Do you want to take it? And she'd be like, yeah, or what have you. But there was within the past couple of months, there was an issue with this other clown. Sometimes the parties are so big, or if it's a community event, they'll hire more than one clown to work it, which makes sense. You want to be able to spread the face painting and the magic and the balloon animals around. And I guess the didn't agree with how handled a certain situation or something like that, and they kind of they butted heads. So it was a much newer clown within this company has just kind of made a point of just trying to snatch up as many of the gigs as possible. So to the point where some things still get assigned, but if there's any, she'll just hop on them. And I don't know if this is actually true because it's hard to know, what the drama is, just somebody observing from the outside. But her boss is Wiccan. So she has a coven, and apparently she's in the coven, so might be getting some priority treatment. So for a while, was kind of annoyed and a little bit conspiracy theory about what was going on there. So they haven't worked together in a while. This weekend, agreed to take a gig, and then realized after the fact that it's going to be the other clown there. So it's going to be interesting.
Now, this is real stress, and this is job opportunities. This is perhaps on some level religious discrimination. It's real, and it's your life, and it's your fiance's life. You can also recognize that everything you just said to me as someone who's not part of this, everything you said just sounded, every sentence got more insane than the last. You understand that from the outsider perspective, right?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely understand that. There's not going to be any clown throwdowns or anything like that. I don't mean, but
as clowning gigs dry up, preferential treatment is being given out based on who's a member of which coven. Like, that's a sentence that's real in your life.
Yes, that's a sentence that's real. Like, that's something that's actively maybe happening. It's like I said, it's hard to say. I'm just going with the information that's being presented to me by my fiance, who does have a tendency to get super justicey about that. She calls herself Kid Justice, or where she'll if she feels like, you know, she's been wronged or somebody else is being wronged, she'll expound upon that topic for as long as she needs to make her voice like it was heard.
Can I tell you a story from my life that I think you'll enjoy?
Please do.
We're going to pause. I'm going to tell a story. I don't take up too much time being self-indulgent, but man, the caller has said a few things that brought up one of the happier memories of my time in entertainment, and I can't wait to tell you all about my favorite appearance I ever did on television. We'll be right back. Everywhere you look right now, people are talking about weight loss medications. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I mean, this is showing up in just actual regular conversations amongst like other parents at the school, you know, people at brunch, the group chats, doctor's offices getting brought up all the time. But it's very, very hard to know how to navigate this world, how to know if weight loss medications are right for you. Enter Hers. Hers is transforming women's healthcare by providing access to weight loss treatment plans for every budget. They connect you with a medical provider who will work with you to determine the best treatment option for you. If prescribed, you get medication as part of a doctor-developed weight loss program, complete with ongoing care, check-ins, dosage, medication adjustments, and access to 24/7 online support at no additional cost. There's no hidden fees, no membership fees. Weight loss by Hers is realistic, not restrictive. Hers provides access to affordable weight loss plans built around oral medication kits and GLP-1 injectable options, with oral medication kits starting at just $69 per month with a 10-month plan when paid upfront in full. Hers puts your health and goals first, with real medical providers making sure you have what you need to get results, all from the comfort of your couch. So if you've been struggling with your weight loss journey, it's time you find the best option that works for you through Hers. Whether you want to lose weight, grow thicker, fuller hair, or find relief for anxiety, Hers has you covered. Visit forhers.com /beautiful to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's forhers.com /beautiful, forhers.com /beautiful. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded drug products are not approved or evaluated for safety, effectiveness, or quality by the FDA. Prescription required. See website for full details, important safety info, and restrictions. Actual price depends on product and plan purchased. Oh, I'm so happy once again to tell you about Storyworth, who have supported our show for years, but who I can tell you so personally, I am so blown away by what they do. And I've used it. And I think more than anyone else we've ever had who advertises on this show, we get the most inquiries about, hey, what was the thing with the stories? And you can get people in your life to do it. It's this. So if you've been waiting to hear this again, this is it. This is the thing I get asked about by our listeners all the time. It is Storyworth. It's hard to find gifts that matter to people, right? But Storyworth, one of the things I love about it is that I got this for my dad, and I think my dad really loved it, and it was deeply meaningful to him. And then by him participating in Storyworth, it actually was a gift that came back to me. I recommend Storyworth so much for your loved ones this holiday season. It might sound intimidating at the top, but they actually make it so easy. And I'll tell you, once people dive in, they love it. They will not see this gift coming. It's really, truly unique and special, and it makes them feel special. And it also is a gift that boomerangs right back to you as well. And honestly, for future generations. The way it works is this. Each week, Storyworth emails a loved one a memory-provoking question, and you can choose those if you'd like. Some of the questions are simple, like, what were your favorite toys as a child? Or it can get deep. What are you most proud of? And then your loved one responds to that email and types out that story. And they can do that via the actual typing. They can even now record it over the phone. Someone at Storyworth will transcribe it. It's really easy. There's no need for passwords, no need for apps. It's perfect for even the non-tech savvy relatives in your life. And then after a year, Storyworth compiles those stories from your loved ones. You can also submit photos, put them into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book. The photos get printed in vibrant color, and it's a treasure. You have it, and your loved one has it, and people can revisit it for generations. I mentioned I did it with my dad, and I have 3 copies on my shelf. One I will keep forever. One I'll give to Cal at some point. One I'll give to my nephew Rory at some point. And all I could ever think about, as my dad was sending these stories back, I would see them coming in. And I realized if I had these things for my grandfathers, they would be treasured items for my whole life. And I'm going to give them to my son and my nephew, and they're going to know my dad in a way that's it's just hard to describe without honestly getting choked up a little bit. Even though they've been around for years, Storyworth is innovating all the time. They've added new features this year to make storytelling even easier with personalized questions and Magic Editor. They have Magic Layout, and new book designs make finished books and especially photos look even more beautiful. There's Spanish language support now. It's just really great. One thing that is not changing, though, customers have so much love for Storyworth. They always have. They have printed over 1 million books. They have preserved 35 million family stories since their founding 13 years ago. They have over 48,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot, Wirecutter, The Strategist, CNN, Fox News, and more. Agree, Storyworth is the perfect gift for the people you love most. And again, I've used it myself. You've heard me go off the script 10 times already because I get so amped up talking about what a positive experience this was. And it made me feel more connected with my dad. And I know that the next generation of my family is going to maintain that connection with him for years because we participated in this thing. Storyworth's awesome. That's why you guys all ask me about it all the time. It's a great gift. Really is. Give your loved ones a unique keepsake. You'll cherish it for years. Storyworth Memoirs. Right now, save $10 or more during their holiday sale when you go to storyworth.com/beautiful. That's storyworth.com/beautiful. Save $10 or more on your order. Thanks to our advertisers. Now let's get back to the phone call. Can I tell you a story from my life that I think you'll enjoy?
Please do.
You mentioned to me that a lot of the business model that your fiancé is participating in Southern California relates to the fact that the Mexican and Mexican-American communities have a lot of loves of clowns. Now, I am aware of this mostly because many years ago, I was asked to appear on a television show called Noches con Platanito. And it looks like it stopped airing in 2020, which I think is a damn shame. This show was amazing. And I got asked to do this show. I was promoting my old TV show. And it was, I got a call. Hey, we got a hit for you. They want you to be on a TV show. It's a Spanish language sort of game show, sort of variety show hosted by a clown called Platanito. And I said, I don't speak Spanish. And what are you talking about? And they said, this show is actually huge in Mexico and amongst Mexican Americans. And when I tell you that my appearance on Noches con Platanito is the most fun I've ever had on television, and honestly, maybe ever. I'm not exaggerating. It was so wild. I felt like, I grew up watching a Spanish language show called El Gran Juego de la Oca that my brother and I were obsessed with, and it was really, really out there by the standards of TV at the time. We loved it. I felt like I got to wander onto the set, almost like a Sábado Gigante style, like The Simpsons always made fun of the bee guy. Noches con Platanito was me being invited into a world that was akin to that. And you can find footage. If you search my name, if you put Chris Gethard, Noches con Platanito, it comes up. And there's footage of me doing all sorts of ludicrous things. And they gave me an inner ear monitor. And there was a translator telling me what everyone said. And Spanish is a quick moving language, So I was trying to keep up. And there were times where I had to answer questions and times where I had to do stunts, times where I had to put on outfits. I had to do an obstacle course at one point where I was dressed as a cowboy. And I was running around shooting a paintball gun. There were maidens involved. There were little people involved. It was really wild. And what I never forgot, and the memory you brought up was, I was promoting my TV show, which, you mentioned you went back and watched a bunch of it. I don't think you'd be shocked to hear that I actually really loved a lot of Spanish language variety shows growing up. Like, a lot of people always said my show was really weird, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm ripping off Conan a little bit, Letterman a little bit, Uncle Floyd from New Jersey a little bit, Spanish language game shows a little bit. Japanese prank shows a little bit. Like, these are all things I really loved growing up. And Platanito had me on his show to promote my television show. I was out in California and I did it. And through the translator afterwards, I was like, this was honestly one of the most fun experiences I've ever had. I said to this man, while he was still dressed as a clown, I said, Platanito, I've been on all of the major American talk shows. I've always felt like my show does its own thing. I've never really felt like I'm in competition with them. I've always felt like I'm doing something different, even though what I host is called a talk show. I've never felt more motivated to be better than appearing on your show. I feel like your show is actually the show that I've now encountered that sets the bar for what I need to be doing. I need to get better to try to have a show as good as Noches con Platanito. And he was very flattered by that. And I said, I'm really hoping that you'll come to New York and let me return the favor. Come be a guest on my show. And I don't think he told me, but I think his manager or rep told me the problem is that when he's not shooting his TV show, he tours around Mexico doing shows and does arenas. And he's making so much money just doing a clown act that if he was to come to New York for a few days to be on your show, like, he really liked you. He really he's checked out your show now. He likes it. He gets why you want to be on there, but he would lose tens of thousands of dollars because he makes so much money as a clown in Mexico.
That's crazy.
Great show.
That's so.
Great show.
Do you feel like that you lived up to your goal of trying to reach like the heights of like what he does, or even close?
That's really tough to say. I'll also tell you, whatever you just did, if you went on speaker or something, it really changed your audio quality.
I did, and I apologize. I just got back from lunch, so I am back in the booth now. I can try to change it back over. I just want to make sure I'll still be able to hear you.
Yeah, if we can try, that would be awesome.
Okay, is that any better?
I think so. Talk a little more.
Is that better?
Oh, so much better. Yeah, so much better.
Okay, I'll do what I can. I'm essentially in a tin can right now, so
I get it.
I'll do my best. Technically, I'm also not supposed to be on my phone at work, but I'm willing to bend the rules because, there's been a lot of people calling off today, which just seems to be a thing that happens on Mondays and Fridays. So I don't think they'll send me home because there's no one to replace me with.
Well, we'll try to keep it low key, and let's see. We've got about half an hour left plus the bonus material. And if you need to bail on the bonus material, we'll figure something else out.
Okay.
As for your question, I don't think I did. I don't think I ever reached the bar that Platanito set. It was, it's very strange for me to say, but I'm like, I love Conan O'Brien, like really have true love for him and look up to him, and was on his show, and he had kind words for me and motivated me, and it meant the world, but I never felt like my show was in competition with his. Seth Meyers, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, I was a guest on all those shows, and I never had that fire lit. I always kind of felt like I'm doing something really different. I don't know if it's better. I don't know if it's cooler, but it's different. Platanito, I was like, man. If I had the, I don't even know, the freedom to throw down as hard as Platanito was throwing down, what would I do with it? And I don't know if I ever quite got there, but I am very, very proud of the little show I made all those years ago. But yeah, Platanito.
Yeah, and you totally should be. Well, now I got to see this Platanito thing.
I found the
out of curiosity.
I found the video. There's only like 3,000
Telemundo?
views. No, it was on a network called Estrellas, I believe. Stars, Estrellas.
Oh, okay. We're very close to the Telemundo studios, but so I was wondering if maybe like I've worked in that building before. I was wondering if maybe I could have even seen it and then just didn't know that that's who it was, just based off of him like not being in character or something.
I don't think you can find the full episode anymore, but I tell you, I just looked it up, and you are able to find the final stretch of it, which was this obstacle course they had us do. Title of the video is Tour Revolucionario con Platanito, Chris Gethard y Steven Kruger. It has 3,305 views. It's been up for 9 years, and I'm already just
all right. Well, we can get those dudes up now.
Just clicking on it.
Come together for Chris here. Everybody needs to see Platanito.
I have to tell you, I clicked on it just to make sure it was still up, and then hit pause. And just the frozen image of what I'm seeing has me laughing so hard that this is ever a thing I got to do in my life, let alone on television. And I think Andrea's watching the video now and is completely baffled that I've never... It's so strange to me that this isn't the most notorious thing I've ever been a part of, actually. And I've been, I just hosted an event headlined by Barack Obama. Like, I've done some cool stuff over the years. And to me, this thing that I did with Platanito should be by far the most well-known thing I've ever been a part of.
Hey, I mean, like, I haven't seen it yet, but I think I agree. So
you're gonna love it.
More power to you, and Viva Platanito, I guess.
Viva Platanito. Okay, let's focus back up. What else would you?
I should ask if she knows him. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if Platanito is well known in amongst clowns who cross over with the Mexican community.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, she goes into her clown lore, like. I don't know if you know this or not, but there's this whole thing where, like, if you have makeup as a clown, like, you decide what's your own makeup, and one of the unofficial rules is nobody is supposed to wear your makeup. And part of the way you own your makeup for your clown persona is there's like a museum or something, or a society of clowns where they paint your makeup on an egg. And then it lives in this giant and kept for like at least like 100 years, probably longer than that. And it just sits there and it has your name on it. And then, that if anybody like was to wear your makeup, you'd be like, aha, and you can point to your egg. And then they have to be like, oh no. And then they can't wear that makeup anymore.
Really?
By clown law.
Clown law. And what happens if you violate clown law?
I don't think you want to know. I don't know, but it's probably better not to find out. Clowns don't fuck around, Chris.
And now I know in Southern California, there's also, and this is, there was a documentary 20 years ago called Rise about this, But there's also a whole culture of clown-based dancing, clowning, and then I think it became crumping I think there was clowning first, which became a dance style that actual clowns were doing, and then some people, I think, removed it from clown makeup and clown imagery, and it started calling it crumping. And it's really fascinating.
Crumping I knew of. I didn't know that it had like a basis within like clown lore. I mean, it's funny because I've never been a clown. I've probably known like 2 clowns my entire life, but I also grew up outside of Detroit, so I'm very familiar with the Juggalos as a population.
And Faygo and Verner's, so, 2 of my favorite drinks.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, I love Faygo growing up. My favorite was Rock and Rye.
Rock and Rye is delicious. Rock and Rye is delicious.
Did you have a favorite or no?
I loved Rock and Rye and Moon Mist. Moon Mist is no joke when it comes to Faygo.
Oh, Moon Mist.
Moon Mist is good.
Moon Mist is good.
Yeah.
I will say, I have a random story about Moon Mist.
Okay.
Actually,
I love this.
This is very random, Chris. So just bear with me. So when I was like 5 or 6, right, my dad, who was also he was a high school principal then, also worked a lot of track meets, like for track and field. So he would be like, he'd be the starter at the start of it, and like, you know, have a little cap gun pistol that would go off, and then people would run like however many leagues or whatever it is for meters or whatever it is. Anyway, sometimes I would get drug along to these track meets, and I would just be hanging out in the car because I didn't really care, because it's kind of boring to just watch people just running especially when you're 5, and just be hanging out in the car. And there was an athlete who came by who had a big, probably liter bottle of Moon Mist, and he went to throw it at the recycling can, and it bounced off and fell down, and he was like, "Oops, dropped my moon juice," and that lives rent free in my head to this day.
I bet it does. I bet that soiled your whole relationship with the delicious flavor known as Moon Mist for years.
No, I still can't drink it. But for those of you who don't know out there, Moon Mist is the Faygo version of Mountain Dew. And I never really acquired a taste for that either.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for it. I feel like you're one of these.
This is a decent segue.
I was just going to say,
go ahead.
You strike me as one of these people that no matter where this goes, I'm going to feel in safe hands and like the stories are coming. So what's the segue? I trust you to go wherever you want to go.
Well, I like to think of myself as a storyteller. I mean, I try. I actually used to do that. Did you grow up having forensics tournaments?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that concept?
Yeah.
So I guess I'll explain this for everybody else. If you don't know what forensics is, it's these competitions that high schools have that are usually around public speaking, and they have different events, like sales is one, dramatic interpretation is one, and storytelling is one. And I often would pick storytelling because, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. So like the one that I did the most, that I had the most success with while competing, was I did a storytelling, acting out all the parts, doing all the voices for Are You My Mother by P.D. Eastman.
That sounds delightful.
Are you familiar with that one, Chris? I feel like most of it. Yeah, it was. It was very cute, and it had a little baby bird voice. And for some reason, I decided that the narrator should just be Patrick Stewart.
So you entered a competition where P.D. Eastman, I believe, there's a bunch of stories that a lot of us in our head think are Dr. Seuss, and they're actually P.D. Eastman, right? Like Go Dog Go.
Yeah, I think
Go Dog Go is P.D. Eastman.
One of them.
Are You My Mother?
I'm going to have to take your word on that one. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, but I would
Argue
say,
My Mother, definitely.
I would say in kind of the presentation, that there's some Dr. Seuss qualities to P.D. Eastman's work, but they also collaborated a bunch.
Yeah,
too. Yes,
I mean,
yes,
definitely.
Yes. Okay,
Definitely visually, yeah. I think the big difference is the P.D. Eastman stuff doesn't rhyme.
It looks like P.D. Eastman
typically
was a protege of Dr. Seuss, that he kind of learned from Dr. Seuss.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make sense.
So,
and it's I think it's like P.D. Eastman stuff gets released while we're really going into it here, P.D. Eastman stuff gets released like by the Dr. Seuss publishing company.
Yes. So you had a performing start where you would impersonate Patrick Stewart reading children's books by P.D. Eastman at forensics competitions in high school. This is great.
That's right. And I would hatch out of an egg, and I would use my arm to be a big, like, what would you call it? Like backhoe, and like be the snort, which is the main antagonist of this little baby bird trying to get back to its nest. Yeah. Like I love that. If I really thought about it, I could probably do it right now, but I'm not going to. I've had to pull it out before. I was working at this summer camp where they were like, "Hey, you have a theater background. Do you want to direct a bunch of these kids for this summer day camp program in a play?" And I was like, "I don't know if I do." And they were like, "Well, we want you to, so figure it out." And so I managed to somehow get 12 kids, I think, to do a play version of Green Eggs and Ham.
That's awesome.
Where like I had to like come up with all the costumes myself, and like made kids like the people on the train and like the fox and then off in the box and all that kind of random stuff. And we were running a little short because it's not a long book. It's maybe 10 minutes if you stretch it. And so they wanted us to have more time. So at the beginning, I just was like, okay, I guess I'm just going to dust off Are You My Mother? And I'm going to do that as the opening act for this thing.
Are you still performing?
I still get on set a little bit. I work doing background gigs, and trying to get audition more. It's a weird time. Like stuff is definitely starting to come back here, but a lot of production moved out of state. So there's still auditioning here and stuff, but I'm very I'm in the union, but I'm very, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit scared. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. Like,
did you move to Southern California?
Fiance definitely encourages me to.
Did you head out to Southern California with the thought that maybe performing was the thing you wanted to pursue?
Well, yes. But I moved out here specifically to try to break into sitcom writing.
Into sitcom writing.
So I've been plugging away at a sitcom pilot for a couple years now, just trying to get it to where I want it to be.
How's that going?
But it fits and starts. I'm really hard on myself, and I've rewritten it probably 4 or 5 times now, and I keep I've never actually finished an entire draft. I always find myself stopping and then doing fixes as I'm going, which is not really what you should do, but I just can't seem to break myself out of the cycle of it.
Mm-hmm. 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 This is. I
mean, you're a writer, Chris. Can you give me advice?
Well, I was just gonna say, the pieces of this are all coming together because you're very funny and you are very whimsical. You said it's a priority for you and your fiance. You've got funny stories. You know how to tell the stories, and then it's coming out that you're a performer, you're a writer, you've got these goals, and I think that's amazing. And I think it would be disingenuous for me to give any real advice, because I don't know exactly where you're at. I don't know how you work. I can use advice as much as anybody else can on the actual technical writing stuff. But what I can say is, and this is going to get unexpectedly motivational, based on how the first 40-something minutes of this have gone. But what I can say... Oh, yeah, let's let you do your actual job.
Yeah, give me 1 second, Chris.
Yeah, take your time. It's amazing how much that actually lines up with what I was about to say. And hey, look, he's on hold. He's doing his thing. So this seems like a great time for us to pause, and we'll get our stuff out of the way, and then we'll all come back together. Okay, it works out perfectly. We'll be right back. Cold mornings, holiday plans. You know what you want on days like that? A nice, simple wardrobe. Stuff that looks good, feels good, things you'll actually wear. And for me, that is Quince. And I'm so psyched to tell you about recent Quince developments in my life. Guess what? Here's a bonus on top of all of it. Quince pieces make great gifts too. This season's lineup is simple but smart and easy with Quince. $50 Mongolian cashmere sweaters that feel like an everyday luxury, wool coats that are equal parts stylish and durable, their denim nails the fit and everyday comfort, all at a fraction of what you'd expect to pay. By partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the middlemen to deliver premium quality at half the cost of other high-end brands. So you can give luxury quality pieces without the luxury price tag. I'm going to tell you that I recently purchased a sick corduroy jacket from Quince. And it showed up, and I loved it so much that I immediately turned around and ordered another one in a different color. I flipped out. I put it on. I looked in the mirror. I felt good. I looked good. My wife immediately told me it was cute. The first time I wore it out and did a show, one of the other comedians instantly was like, yo, that's a rad jacket. It looks good. It feels good. And I'm telling you, if you go on Quince, you'll find stuff that fits you. You'll find stuff that's good gifts for other people. And it's well-made stuff. And the company's doing it the right way. So you can feel good about it too. And I'm out here. You are going to see me. If you ever see me in a live show again, I'll probably be wearing one of these corduroy jackets from Quince. I cannot believe how much I like them. Give and get timeless holiday staples that last this season with Quince. Go to quince.com/beautiful for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/beautiful. Free shipping, 365-day returns. Quince.com/beautiful.
For everyone who solves crime from their couch, knows more about forensics than their own job, and has trust issues with small-town sheriffs, Amazon Music's millions of podcast episodes are calling. Just download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite true crime podcasts ad-free. Included with Prime.
Thanks to the advertisers who allow this show to exist. Now let's finish off the phone call. It's amazing how much that actually lines up with what I was about to say.
So I guess I'll walk us through this. I'm just getting a name to make sure that the gentleman I have here is at the right gate. So you turn left, and I'm looking around left and immediately on the right. Hey, you still there?
Yeah. That was incredible timing.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's been very slow today, like I said. Well, actually, I don't think I told you, but Mondays and Fridays are usually pretty dead around here. I work at a gate that mostly handles like business relations and auditions or commercial stuff and music and a bunch of other stuff. But it's all like the business end of stuff. So it's the employees basically since COVID. Most of them work Monday and Friday from home if they can. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I was just going to say,
which is part of the reason I can be a little sneaky.
Yeah, and I love that, and I love that we get to talk. But listen, there is a part of me going, I don't think I can give nuts and bolts advice because I don't know exactly where you're at, what you've done, and this and that. What I can say is, don't forget that you're a writer. Don't forget that you're an actor. Don't forget that you're a creative. Everybody has to work gigs to get by as they figure out how to break out. But don't forget what you are. You're not you're not a security guard. You're a writer in waiting. You're a writer who's waiting to strike, you know? And don't forget that. And I know you said, especially with your fiance's work being down, that you're picking up more shifts. And one feeling that I am very intimately familiar with is being in the environment where it's all happening and watching other people for whom it is happening or has happened. It has happened for when you're still waiting, and that can drive you nuts. And I would just beg of you, you're clearly a funny person and a good storyteller. Don't let it drive you nuts, and don't be scared to walk away if this is ultimately stopping you from doing the thing, you know? And it's scary, especially when money's tight. So do it in a smart, responsible way, but don't forget who you are.
Yeah.
Don't forget why you're out there. It's not to check that person in who you just helped checked in.
Yeah.
This is to pay the bills. You're out there for other reasons.
Yeah.
Don't quit on those reasons, and don't convince yourself. It's so easy to convince yourself to give up. Just don't do it. And if you do give up, get far the fuck away from Los Angeles.
Well, yeah, that's the only thing that's keeping me here. Well, her too. She's from here.
Yeah.
The suburbs, but she's from the area. So we've talked about the possibility of, if depending on how things go the next few years. I'm 41, she's 42. Of us maybe going someplace else, maybe not Michigan where I'm from, but maybe someplace else if we don't do things here. Like for me, like I just stayed later than I did to be where I was before that. But it's crazy. I've been here just over 2 years now, and I started doing it because of the strike, when the writers went on strike, actually.
Yeah.
And then that led into the actor strike, when it just was a long time. And I had a really good start of that year, where like I managed to book this very lucrative stand-in gig on this independent movie, and it just came out. Nobody's going to be able to find this anyway, but it's the movie you should watch. It's called Code 3. It's about EMTs. It's very funny.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson's in that.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson, Lil Rel Howery, Amy Carrera. Yeah, I was Rainn's stand-in for the entire shoot of that movie. He's a super nice guy, by the way.
The nicest.
Which you probably know.
Yeah, nicest, most thoughtful dude. And totally on his own wavelength in a way that stands out amongst entertainment people in a very positive way.
Yeah. We didn't get to interact a ton, but there was a lot of medical jargon that he didn't know very well. Just doesn't, if you're not somebody who works in that field, those words don't just come out very easily. So anything that had emotional beats, he could just nail him on the head first two takes. But for that, he'd just be like, "Hey, can you come help me talk about aortic infarctions and stuff?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, okay." I'm happy to help.
But I'm telling you,
other than that, we bonded over the bassoon. We both played the bassoon.
You got to keep in mind, like, and I could be wrong, but I just have been around long enough to know, like, when you're booking work as a stand-in and it's good money and it's awesome, but it's also, you are literally that close, right? You are literally swapping out for that person. It's so easy to get frustrated. And in a really strange way, when you're going for it and it's something you got a dream, in a really strange way, you'll never feel farther away from the dream than when you're standing right next to it, you know?
Yeah, it's been kind of bizarre doing this. When I started doing this, there was no production happening at all because everything was just, on pause. But, like I said, I've been here 2 years now, and I still do pick up days on set here and there doing like background stuff because I want to stay in the union. I want to be able to also have that, that side hustle going. And I think, really the biggest reason why I keep staying here, besides that it's an easy job, but it's also kind of a place where people just are on hold. Like there's people either nobody's here because they want to be here. People are here because this is all they can do, or because they're just in a holding pattern waiting for something else to turn around in their lives. I mean, I meet people all the time from people who immigrated here, and this was a job that they could get and stayed because the benefits are pretty decent, and it's most of the time, most days, it's a really, it can be like painfully boring, but it's easy money, and all that stuff. And then I meet people who were going to try for the police force, and then for whatever reason it just didn't pan out for them, and that's why they're here. And I keep this job because if I book something, all I have to do to get out of my shift for the day is give 3 hours notice, and they will let me walk that day, and it's not a problem.
I love it. I had so many rounds of being in that headspace of like, ooh, I'm right here. I am right here. And you got this. And, excuse me. I really think you're clearly a storyteller. You're clearly funny. You're clearly doing your own thing in your own way. And I'm just rooting for you hard. There's never any guarantees, but don't forget who you are. And I'm rooting for you hard.
I appreciate that, Chris. How are we doing on time?
8 minutes left.
8 minutes left. Okay. Which would you rather hear? This one's a quick story about the times I met Brendan Fraser and Steven Spielberg.
Ooh.
Or would you like to hear about a terrible thing that I did to my brother when I was 5 and he was 8?
Normally I would lean into the second one, but I want to hear about this. I want to hear about this Brendan Fraser, Steven Spielberg situation. We don't usually get stories like that here.
Okay. So what I'll say, I'll do the Spielberg one because that's quicker to start with. So Spielberg, we have been told since I started here, like, hey, if Spielberg comes to your gate, because a lot of times he will drive himself and not have like a personal driver the way a lot of other industry people do. Just let him in. Just open the arm. Don't worry about it. But that's mostly at our main gate is where he comes through because that's the most direct way to get to the offices that he works on when he is here. And apparently, he drives like a Mercedes or a Maserati, or like he has many, many luxury cars because he's Steven Spielberg and he produces everything and he's worth much money. So I was working at a different gate than the one I'm at now, which is a 2-person gate. And they have, so we have 2 lanes of traffic where one person handles one side, one person handles the other side. Before they tore the old gates out, there were toggle switches to open up the gate on both sides so you could do them independently of each other. But when they redid these gates about a year ago, the smart people who put the new ones in didn't consult any of the people who actually work at the gates and just didn't put toggle switches on the other side. So I was just doing my job, but it was kind of a slow day, and I was talking to the other guard who was with me next to the switches and stuff, and then I see a car has pulled up, and they're not scanning their badge to just get in, and I look over, and it's just Steven Spielberg. He's just waving me like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Oh God!" He's like, "Chewie, flip the gate," and then he just barrels through, and it's fine. But that's my one run-in with Spielberg is like him catching us with our pants down.
Love that. Brendan Fraser.
Okay.
Sweet
and
man. Good man.
The Brendan Fraser, such a nice guy. He was like, he came through, he was taking a meeting, and I recognized him instantly because I'm a big fan of the Mummy movies the way a lot of people are because they're just fun. And, I try not to gush whenever I do occasionally brush up with a celebrity that I like. But so I'm just very cordial and stuff. And he has me, he says his name, and I try to say it right because it's Fraser, not Frazier.
Okay.
And I know that bothers him. He's like been on record as saying that bothers him when people screw up his name. So I'm calling into the he gets a special spot in the VIP lot. So I call in to get it taken care of. And then we're like, hey, are you of course, have a good day, sir. And he's like, yeah, wish me luck. And then he winked at me.
You got
and
a wink.
I'm almost positive that the meeting he took was for the new just announced Mummy movie that's going to come out. That things went well, and they're doing that movie. So I was happy to be part of the process.
You helped set the table for that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well done. That is one of the nice little perks from time to time is meeting celebrities, but most of them are nice, thankfully. They've got places to be, but they're usually most of them are very genuine people. Although I did hear a story about somebody who held up Snoop Dogg at the gate, and that did not go very well.
I mean, that's clearly Snoop Dogg. That's one of the most recognizable human beings on planet Earth.
Well, to the guard's credit, he was a passenger and he was in the back of the vehicle. But usually when there's a driver, you're supposed to ask, well, who do you, hi, do you have anybody in the vehicle? Who do you have? And then they say Snoop Dogg. Although I'm realizing now I had an incident with Justin Bieber the other day. It's just people were coming through and we've been told for a month they were going to come through. I've never seen them. They never come on the weekend. And he drove himself, and he doesn't look like what I thought he looked like the last time that I saw him. So I was like, so he looked at me like I was like an idiot, and I was like, and because I wasn't letting him through right away, and I was like, "Are you part of the Justin Bieber group?" And he said, "I am Justin Bieber."
Yeah.
And then I let him through.
Indeed. What an interesting slot of your life. I think you will look back on this particular gig someday as a strange and beautiful blip where all these weird things happen.
I do wonder sometimes if maybe this should be if this is the show. If the show is just weird things that happen while being a security guard.
Oh, I mean, start writing it down. Write down everything, right?
Yeah.
Write down everything. While following your years as you worked this security gig, while falling deeply in love with a clown and caring for the clown through financial duress and building a life together. What a unique, specific, hilarious, and beautiful stretch of life. And I hope that it brings you more joy than frustration.
It does on most days, Chris.
Good.
It does on most days.
Good. I like that. We got 2 minutes left.
Where are we at now?
2 minutes left. I don't know.
2 minutes
yeah.
left.
What's your best 2-minute story?
Okay. I can tell the embarrassing brother story. So, you remember that movie Little Monsters? Did you grow up watching that movie from the mid '80s with Howie Mandel?
Yeah.
So, my parents were having an open house party, like a grad party for an exchange student that we had. We had exchange students all my growing up. So this was the first one we ever had. He was this guy from Switzerland named Mark, very nice guy. So that was happening in the backyard. In the front yard, I was 5 and I was thinking to myself, it'd be hilarious if I made my brother drink my pee. So I took a can of Pepsi, opened it up, poured out a little bit, peed in it, switched it around slightly, and then walked it to my brother and said, hey, brother, do you want a Pepsi? And he said, okay, and drank 2 sips of it and was like, this tastes funny. And then I immediately said, I peed this, and just started running. And then he chased after me in front of all these party guests. He got the hose and sprayed me with the garden hose, and then he got in much more trouble than I got. That's the quick version.
That ain't good. That ain't good at all.
Yeah. No, it's not. I was 5.
No, I mean,
and kind of a little shit. Yeah.
I bet that. Yeah. Do you think that that fundamentally alters the rest of your relationship with your brother from that point forward?
Well, we're okay now, but I was very antagonistic growing up, as a lot of little brothers are, and it was a lot of like, poking the bear until the bear punches you, and then crying about the fact that the bear punched you, and then the bear gets to go to timeout because you just want the attention.
Well, I'm so glad everything worked out okay after you made your brother drink your pee out of a soda can. I'm glad that everything landed in a...
He's still alive and well, living in New York City.
Good. It's been so fun talking to you. You really know how to tell a story. The vibes were good start to finish. Thank you so much. We ended on the P for the free feed. Oh, I love it. Do you have time to do the bonus stuff or no?
Time.
You sure? Because I don't want to put you out at work.
I got time. Yeah, I got time. It's okay. Since that guy came by, nobody has come by said like probably 10 or 15 minutes ago. So I'm good.
Caller, thank you so much. That is one that I will find hard to explain what it was about in one sentence or two, but what I can say is that I loved your vibe from the start. It got touching at the end, and for everybody who signed up at beautifulanonymous.com, it got really emotional, really real in regards to some stuff in there. And what a caller. I'm rooting so hard for that caller. And, of course, for all the clowns in the caller's life. And I hope the Wiccan clown drama slows down. I mean it. Thank you so much to the caller. Thank you to our producer, Andrea Quinn. Thank you to Shellshag for our theme music. Thank you to everybody who listens to the show, tells people about the show. Thanks to people who support me when I do live shows. punchup.live/Chris Gethard if you want tickets to my shows. We get a voicemail number, 973-306-4676. We're on Instagram at Beautiful Anonymous Pod. The Facebook group is a great discussion group, Beautiful Anonymous, the community. Join up, discuss the episodes, tell people we're here, rate, review, subscribe, all those things. Thanks, everybody. This week on Beautiful Anonymous Plus, here's some of what you'll get from the 5 questions. Would you rather be a goat or a trout, and why?
Okay. So I'm going to say goat.
Yeah.
Because goats still get to occasionally eat human food, which is good.
Great answer.
Also, they can jump and kick things and butt things, and that's all fun.
Fantastic reasoning.
But then people still like them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and also I don't love the water that much. So being a trout, just having to live in water the whole rest of my life just doesn't really do it for me.
Nailed it. You nailed that. Don't forget to sign up for Beautiful Anonymous Plus at beautifulanonymous.com.
It's easy to know you want to make a change in your life, but it is hard to actually do it. How to Be a Better Human from TED is a podcast for when self-help feels too daunting or just not for you. I'm Chris Duffy, the host of How to Be a Better Human, and trust me, I do not have it all figured out. But join me as I talk to experts about actually attainable ways we can try to improve our lives. Whether it's facing fears, setting boundaries, cleaning your house, or all sorts of other topics. Find How to Be a Better Human wherever you get your podcasts.